sorry that Jesse can't make it, but Austin, what's up, Sebastian? I didn't even know you're from Austin. That's sweet. Yeah, so until Jesse comes in, I'll try to hold the fort as best as I can. I know you're gonna miss his energy, so I'll try my best to not put you to sleep here. But really quickly, just want to talk about what we're talking about today is really quota, comp, and what this looks like as far as an outbound sales team moving forward. So we've got some, RevOps rock stars on here watching the session. So I advise you folks, Nick, Sebastian, hop in the chat if you have anything to say. We want to hear from you. It's part of a good conversation, okay? So first and foremost, we have a problem with outbound sales, and people paint sales all with the same brush. It's just smile, dial, sell me this pen. Whoever's seen Wolf of Wall Street, it's kind of crazy. And what we do in sales development, and I'm sure all of you folks know this, anybody who's run a sales team or is part of a sales team, everybody wants you to have activities first, just activities. And then we want to just hit the numbers. Who here, just say yes in the chat, who here has heard the phrase from one of your managers at some point, it's sales is a numbers game? Yeah. Favorite phrase for the old school folks, right? Yeah. Now let me tell you a little bit of a story about a unicorn a company that just got unicorn status not too long ago. I worked with them a couple years back, where I was helping them start a SDR function in the organization. At the time, they had 300 sales reps throughout 6 continents, 55 offices, and they were all full cycle. So all entirely full cycle sales reps. So obviously SDR it just made sense. Sales development made sense for them. And so in our first 25 hires, most of them were on my team in Vancouver, in Canada, and the rest were kind of distributed around the world. But while we were finding our success formula, the CEO came to me at one point and said, Jeff, I really want to throw more bodies at it. I really want to add more people. And we were getting decent pipeline, but I wouldn't say that if it were me, I wouldn't have scaled at that point because we haven't really found our success yet. So what happened? Well, we added more bodies across the globe, burned through tons of cash, and we still hadn't found our success formula. I put in brackets yet because we did obviously find our success formula, but we could have done that with a lot smaller staff and then scaled. But this is the unicorn approach, right? Obviously, they did a good job because now they're sitting on $1 billion. But who am I to judge? So for the future of sales development, we're going to be running away from this approach. So replacing Godzilla is Mr. Wolf of Wall Street himself, right there. So as the go-to-market changes, your comp, your leadership, and the way we enable a sales team is going to change. So who here in the chat who has anybody on their team that's looking at a activities target of 200 or plus a day? Have you ever heard of that? So while you're chatting, I'll just tell you real quick. Somebody showed up to an event that I was hosting once. On the SDR side, where this woman was saying that her boss wanted her to send out 1,000 emails a day. I could just imagine how much it would cost you in contacts to send 1,000 emails a day. And just so a lot of you are RevOps people. So what do you think happened to their ESPs? Like, what do you think happened to their domain name? Blocked. Yeah, exactly, Sebastian. It's banned. So clearly this isn't a good idea, right? It's not a good idea. Yeah, 100 calls a day. See, that's not bad, Tucker. 100 calls a day is doable, especially if you have a power dialer. But again, it's more about that mentality of let's do a whole bunch of activities at once. So let's talk about quota really quickly. Now, I'll tell you another story. I was working with an SDR team where this one gentleman was amazing. You could set your watch to his work ethic. He would show up every day at exactly 7 o'clock on the dot, take his lunch at his desk from 12 to 12:30, leave at 3 o'clock to go to his other job. So this guy, every single day, the exact same thing, like clockwork. And he was absolutely fantastic. Great SDR. He did lots of activities. He worked, like I said, every day. But the problem was that he wasn't actually getting us, the right leads. So even though he filled our funnel, our pipeline was so small, it was actually laughable. So what we did was we actually ended up changing his comp plan to adjust to the right activities that we wanted. So after we changed the comp plan and we based it on our account base, so we had an account-based program set up. Nick, we were just commenting on the general chat there about ABM, but we had identified A accounts, B accounts, and C accounts, and we paid him more for the higher up on the pyramid he went. So now he's doing the exact same effort, but he's qualifying his prospects a lot more, and he ended up getting the same volume, but generating 10x pipeline. So literally 10 times the pipeline, because instead of going after the SMB companies that we weren't looking for anymore, he was going after big companies, multi-billion-dollar companies that had a real genuine need for a product. So what I'd like to do is just point out really quickly the daily activities calculator. So I'm sure all of you have something like this. Okay, hold on. Jesse is here. Jesse, I honestly have no freaking clue, man. I am not in charge here. I'm so sorry. Maybe ping JP? Sorry, dude. I don't know how to help. Okay. So yeah, folks, daily activities calculator. When you're actually looking at what you need to do for activities, I like to work backwards from efficient volume. I like that, Connor. That's really smart. When you're looking at your daily activities calculator, I like to work backwards from revenue. So what is your revenue quota for the year per rep? And then, your typical 3x pipeline, and what's your average contract value, and what's your book meeting percentage. So all of those numbers put together, and you have yourself your targets. So I want to point out something that Connor said here is efficient volume. So as you can see here, it's 160 activities with 23 new contacts added. So 23 new contacts isn't a lot, so that's doable. And with automation, you can do 160 activities. But I really, really want to get, this is where I really want Jesse involved. So Jesse, since you can't talk, please put it in the chat. I want your opinion. Should we be enabling 160 activities a day? And for all that matters, everybody put in the chat, should we be enabling 160 activities a day? Is that how much volume we should be doing? Jesse says, absolutely. I wish you could talk. It depends. Yeah, it does depend, right? If, as you can see here with the numbers, with the conversion numbers that we're looking at, 2.5% book meetings percentage, you do have to do that many activities to hit your numbers, right? No, we can't hear you, bud. Well, just based on my conversations with Jesse earlier today and yesterday, I know he cares. He's all about activities. Just do it. Get out there, do as much as you can, and go nuts. I'm on a little bit more of the organic, lower volume, higher quality end of the spectrum, but I am not a dead fast diehard at this. So I do know that there's times where you can do high volume, and there's times where you want to go organic. And again, going back to the reference to the A, B, and C accounts, it's definitely something that you want to look at. Do that lower touch, more organic, higher quality for the A accounts. And then as you go down the list in the lower priority, then you want to go into your higher activities. So the point, though, is that what you want to do is you want to look at what levers can you pull and what processes can you optimize. So you want to do is improve the quality of your outreach with better lists. So that'll improve your meetings book percentage. You want to reduce the number of touches required with pre-call research. And then you want to automate repetitive, non-personalized touches. Again, this is where I really wish Jesse was here, because he's all about the automation and making it happen and just breaking the internet and breaking the SDR role. So I'm just going to try my best, Jesse, to channel your energy, but let's break the fucking SDR code and just get out there and automate like crazy. So it is something that you can do. But again, you don't want to automate everything. You want to automate the repetitive, non-personalized touches. Okay. And everybody knows there's tons of technology out there to help you do this. The challenge, though, is that it's process versus tech. This is a vicious loop. You can't have one without the other. You can't just buy a bunch of tech and hope the process works. You have to have processes in place in order to automate and do something well. In fact, when I work with outbound sales teams that are just starting out, I usually advise them not to get a lot of tech. I usually advise them to build their processes manually as much as possible, and then automate what they can with tech. So chat, what other levers can you pull to improve metrics? I mean, we got some heavyweights on the list here. So please share with us what other levers can you pull to improve your overall metrics and do less activities with your work? No one. Okay. Anyways, moving on. So the challenge now is, how do we enable 160 activities a day? So this is where we have the tech. So if we decide that, yeah, we want to automate, we want to do this stuff, then how do we do it? Nice. I like that. Autumn, thanks for sharing. So an initiative to improve the team's consult process and the questions they ask to improve quality. Love that. So how do we get those high volume contacts or activities? Well, we are freaking obsessed with tech. This is the latest from Tenbound, the sales development tech framework. I believe it's the latest, or they might be on version 6 now. This is version 5. But as you can see, I mean, the tech, just like marketing. So I don't know if anybody knows this about me, but I come from a revenue background. So I've run marketing, sales, and sales development teams for a couple decades now. But what I noticed is that, during my career, the MarTech framework went from next to nothing to, holy crap, we've got so many technologies. Well, not to be outdone, sales is definitely catching up. And so you need tons of technology to do the job these days. And it's kind of getting ridiculous, if you ask me. But what tech do you have? Yo. Button. I do not see a button to accept you, my friend. Oh. No, Jesse, I do not see a button, man. I'm not in charge of the event. You have to ping JP. Yeah, there's nothing to like add you as a person or anything. No. Yeah, I don't see anything, Jesse. So for everyone, what tech do you have that's nice to have? So just type. You don't need to put the names or whatever, but do you have any tech in your tech stack today that's just like a nice to have, so not really that important? Lead hunting tech? Okay, interesting. I'm actually curious. So a few of you, sales intelligence, Zoom info, so basically leads. Can you folks elaborate a little bit more on why those are nice to have?
There we go.
There he is. Woohoo!
What are we doing today? How are we doing, Jeff? Sorry about that. I don't know.
That's all right, man. Great to
There
have
was an
you.
issue with the login. I think it's probably because I have so many email addresses here that I had to log in with a new one.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah. So what are we're talking about bots, right? Like automation and bots.
Yeah, well, we're talking about like tech. What's nice to have, you know? Like everybody has a tech stack these days that's just kind of bloated and full of crap. So like, what do you think, Jesse? What's a tech that you have seen that's like nice to have?
What's happened to me is like I always try to take it to the limit of these platforms, right? So like we're trying to break every single thing we do, right? So like here's how my journey worked. I was sending 100 emails a day out of G Suite, and then I was had to upgrade to the enterprise version of G Suite, got out to 500. Then I figured out a way to get to 2,000 emails a day. Now you just want to send emails, right? You just want to get out there, get the juices flowing, figure out your conversion rate. You don't even have to offer anything. You just got to make sure it's all automated, right? You got to get this stuff flowing for you. Just moving out there, building these cadences, building these tracks while you're probably making phone calls and doing other things. And what I realized is once I got to 2,000, it was even harder. I was running into a lot more problems. So then we had to figure out a way to get enterprise, grade kind of systems up and running. And some of those activities were just going even more crazy. So we had to get our delivery rate right. We had to get a lot of other things right. But what I think everybody should really try to do is focus on process first and then back it up with as much technology as you possibly can find on the internet. And you're going to develop, if you join, there's only a few programs I recommend, like Outbound SOS is one of them, just because I know these are true practitioners. But what you're going to find is most of your development right now will not be done with like traditional sales training, unless you're, hiring top people like Jeff and, his team, or joining like RevLeague and some of these other programs that are really well vetted. But where you're going to find a lot of opportunity for you as an SDR or AE, full cycle AE, is going to be all this technology. And what you need to do is just embrace it. Just pretend like you don't really care, and you want to just send out as much as you can and then let it break and find a new way to send more out, right? There's automation out there, and I know there's a lot of people who are saying like, don't use automation, don't use this, don't use that. See, I wouldn't go with that mantra. That's not going to get you anywhere. Everybody's automating everything now. And I think where you're going to see a lot of people challenging this, and sorry, Jeff, I just wanted to make sure I got a couple points across, is
of course
the capacity planning and the kind of the other stuff. It's good to stay within the activity limits just to vet your process. But then once you figure out how your process is going well, send out as much as you possibly can. Get it out there, get it feeding, just get the dings going, get it on their phone, your email. You want to be in their feed. You want to be touching every single digital presence that they have. Maybe cold FaceTimes are a little early. There's a little advanced, but you want to get out there. And then there's going to be a lot of people who say, don't do that right now. They're just trying to keep you back. What I think you're going to want to do is challenge that normalcy in your company when they say, make 100 calls a day. Try to figure out a way to make 500 calls a day. Try to figure out a way to make 1,500 calls a day, if that's going to help, right? But as long as you have the right process, it'll all work out, right? Just keep putting as much fuel on that process, though, as possible. Most of your growth today will come from technology. And if you learn this stuff and you hire a firm like Outbound SOS to get the process right, then you just pour on the tech, just like gasoline, like a big fire, right? And you want that fire going as high as you possibly can. You got to break through the noise because there's so much noise out there. And if you break through that noise, on the other side, there's a big pot of gold. And I can guarantee that. I've seen where that gold is, and it's all in SaaS. And that's kind of my view on this whole thing. And I would immediately get in the RevLeague. I'd also look at hiring Outbound SOS. They're very good. You nail that process, and then you go all in on the tech. and learn everything you can.
Oh, I love that, Jesse. No, Jesse, there you go. Like just a couple minutes in and you drop some knowledge on us, right? Like, no, I agree 100%. Is that like, I'll give you an example. So Tom, his first calling session for Outbound SOS is he's going out to get business for us. He used the connect and sell dialer that he gets through RevLeague, did 300 calls in like an hour and a half, something like that, through the power dialer, did 21 conversations, booked 4 meetings. So he's doing like an hour and a half of calling and he's booking 4 meetings just like that, right?
And he has a great process too, which is even better. It really comes down to this. I mean, the top firms, Winning by Design, Force Management, they always say process first.
Yep.
But once you've got this process down, unload on the technology, right? Now, cold FaceTimes are bullshit, right? Nobody should be doing that, right? But you've got to test your performance and your brand all the time. In your own company, always test it. Always see what's going on, right? And I think where you're getting a lot of bad advice is, there's different groups and different people that are saying, don't use automation, don't do this, it's not genuine.
Yeah.
Well, when I get an email from an e-commerce business over the weekend or, and I'm like half asleep and I buy, 3 extra pairs of, a shirt or something, like that's what that is. That's automation. And that's what we're selling. We're selling technology automation here. I mean, this is a video platform, so we don't have to travel. We can have more meetings. We can have more discussions. And I just think it's ridiculous that everybody that's saying no automation, these are the same people selling the technology. It's bizarre. And I'm having a hard time understanding this. And it's, get your process right. Sign up for the RevLeague. I mean, for sure. Get the Outbound SOS. That they got a scorecard that I personally use. I purchased it off their website. I think it's probably the best scorecard out there right now. And get that out there. Get that being used. And then what you do is just unload on the technology. Try everything on Product Hunt. Buy every tech on AppSumo. You can always return it on AppSumo. You can do that. But just use it for your stack and get it going and push it out there. Look at Tom. He's already got, look at Jeff. Sorry, I was talking to Tom earlier. Look at Jeff. He's already got 100 plugins on right now. I mean, he's loaded for, even the best people are using, my browser bar, I don't even have an address bar anymore because I've lost it because there's so many damn plugins in my LinkedIn and everything. Just automate the world. It's so dumb that you're wasting your time if you're listening to any of these kind of like sales influencer type people that are saying don't automate. It's bizarre to me. Those are the same people who are planning capacity plans where they're saying stuff like, well, we're going to hire 3 SDRs. Look, 1 SDR can change the world. 1 AE full cycle can change the world. And that's my method. Hey, it's worked for me. I got through SaaS sales, enterprise SaaS. I was doing very well. Decided to build my own SaaS product, and that's it. I'm not playing games with them anymore. That's it. You can use as much technology as you want in your day. You should be using more. If you're not using it, I'm not even using enough, and it might scare you what we're using over here. So,
yeah, you know what, Jesse? Your technology, your use of technology scares me in a good way. Like I get kind of shocked and I'm like, fuck yeah, somebody can do this. And I'm just, it makes me feel like we were talking earlier about demand gen and like, I used to hold the title of director of demand gen. And if I had the tech you had, I certainly wouldn't be worried about my job or anything like that.
Nope. The person who owns the data always wins. Remember that. And if you just secure the data, you go into your company, you learn Salesforce. I made a bold statement today. I said I would never use the Salesforce UI again. I never will. They lost my trust. I'll never use their UI again just because of that. But it doesn't mean I won't use Slack, which is also a Salesforce company. And I will use all of Slack to update Salesforce, which I was doing.
Right.
It's stuff like this. It's just more and more tech poured on an amazing process. You hire people like Outbound SOS. They know the process. They're better than me at the process. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm doing. But, for me, it's just, you got to just pour it on pour on the data, pour on the tech. You're going to have that leader out there that says you're way too into the weeds. You know, that person, you stay away from those people. They're going to bring you down.
You know why people are all against automation? It's because people effing suck at automation.
Totally.
Because they're getting the same old crap. You can't scale bad processes because all you do is you break the system. You make people not want to check their inboxes, not want to pick up their phone. Like I get, I don't know who here is from Canada, a couple of people on here, but I get calls literally every day, 3 times a day. My wife does too, from some like Canada Revenue Agency that's telling me that I have a warrant out for my arrest.
Yep.
Every single day. So I'm like, I run a business. My phone is money. People call me. That's money to me. So I answer every time, whether I know the number or not. And so that's why people hate automation. That's why they say don't automate. But like to your point, Jesse, if you actually have a good process and you throw some fuel on it, some automation, guess what? You've got yourself a good process that automates and puts money in your jeans every day.
Yep. It does it while you sleep. And that's what's great. When money's coming in while you sleep, you're getting meetings, you're prospecting faster, you're getting out there, just, ignore the cats that say don't automate. I mean, at this point, look, I've dabbled a little bit in LinkedIn automation. I've tried it, but look, get out there and automate stuff. Just get it all working. RPA, the companies that are doing RPA, look at UiPath, look at Automation Anywhere. That's what those products do. They automate things all day for people. Mundane task. If you feel like you're doing a task over and over, there's probably a way to automate it, right? The human interactions, you got to be careful. That's where you need SOS, right? You need outbound SOS. And that's really it for me. I mean, I've always kind of felt this way. The great news is I stayed a rep, made a bunch of money that way, and then I just decided to part out. I mean, I've always kind of been on my own little pirate ship over here, and that's what we're going to continue to do here. And I'm going to work with great people like Jeff, Tom, and the Outbound SOS team. And I learn a lot from them. I'm joining the Rev League just because it's a great place to go. And that's kind of all I had to say.
Oh man, quality over quantity, right, Jesse? Come in for 5 minutes and just drop the mic.
Because I do talk too much, so I have to watch that too. But you're right. This is good stuff.
All good. So we have 20 seconds left. So I just want to point everybody out. We didn't have time to go through the tech scorecard today, but that's okay. If you actually go to the link, the bottom link here, the Outbound SOS scorecard course, you get, it's normally $47 for this course. It's $9 today, just in the spirit of RevCon. So go check it